We're on the Middle Provo, not too far below Deer Creek Dam. It's the middle of December, and Dan and one of our clients, they have a nice brown trout on. Very light leader though. 7X. We had to go to 7X, 2-pound test, to fool this fish. Also had to go to a very, very small, light inline rig, fishing below a spawning bed. Now don't be mad at me, there's so many brown trout in here. And we didn't get in the bed. This is a challenge. We wanted to catch this fish. He's going to be released. We're not going to abuse him. Notice it, very carefully playing this fish. Keep a bend in the rod. It's a long rod. It's a 10.5-foot rod. And this client is an excellent student. He follows direction. He lets the fish run and so forth. It's hard to keep him on with those tiny hooks or keep him from breaking off. So it takes patience. Everybody anyway seems to be in a hurry to land fish. Better not be in a hurry to land them on a size 20 hook with 6X, because you're either going to pull loose or break them off a lot of the time. Yeah, some of them you'll get in, but hey, when in the middle of the winter and so forth, or in December, you better play them careful and land them. That's the plan. Dan's going to net this fish. Yes, we have a big net, but we don't always use it.
So you're gonna get the hook. You're gonna get the hook out of the mouth.
Yep. Nice fish. Hold the net for
yep.
me. Just
I got it. Got him underneath. Back in the water.
So here we're pulling up here at moments like this. The value of one last cast.
Yeah, I like that. I wrote that down.
This is a nice brown trout. About 17 inches, 18 inches. Good brown trout. Beautiful fish. Late in the day, not much light left, but this is the last fish of the day. We're glad to get this fish. Carefully release him. The water's so cold. Dan, of course, I've got to get his close up.
Yeah, I had a great day coming out fishing with Dan and Jim. I probably learned the most fundamental, awesome skills in order to, get a hand on fly fishing in the basics, mending, different rig types, how to fish a bounce rig, what to look for when certain rigs aren't working, reading the water, how to handle a fish. I guess the whole spectrum of what somebody needs to know to at least get started. We all nailed in a short span of just a few hours. It was awesome.
What that last fish, what did you do? How big was it and stuff?
It was about 17 inches. And we just played it very, very carefully, very slowly, no fast reeling or sudden movements, and the fish kind of tired itself out, and Dan came in with the net once we got its head above the water. Worked out perfectly.
What did you catch him on?
Egg pattern.
So it's an inline rig?
yes.
Inline rig?
Inline, yes.
Yeah, it's a tiny though, very tiny.
Little indicator.
Yeah, and it's a tiny egg. What size egg pattern?
I'm not sure the size. It looked like a 20?
It's about a 20, yeah.
Tiny.
We tried the bigger egg pattern. They didn't take it, did they?
Nope.
So 17-inch fish on a size 20.
Yeah, that's impressive.
But it's December 13th. This is the end of the day. We've had a pretty good day today. Snowy, not too cold, but snow off and on all day. We're upper part of the Middle Provo. Egg patterns has been the answer today. We've tried some other things, but a few of the guys are catching them on top. We just concentrated with the bounce rig and inline rigs, and we've done pretty good today.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it when people say that's the biggest trout I ever caught. I like that.
I think it was the two biggest trout I ever caught.
That's right. So
yeah.
He's got two like it right at 17. So,
yeah.
And then you caught what? How many? 4, maybe 5 more.
Yeah, 4 or 5 more.
Like that. So it's been a pretty
ones
good day.
In different sections.
It's a pretty good day.
Yeah. Well, I learned a lot.
Fun day. Were you a good student? It's fun to have somebody that wants to learn.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah,
you're a good student.
Very much wanted to learn.
You know, you're excited about being out here, and that's half of it. So we've had fun all day too. So.
I appreciate it. Thanks for teaching me everything.
Right. Well, fun day.
Best fishing trip in a while.
Excellent.
Well, it was a good day, and I thought that I'd, as an after effect here, show you the box and that we were using and so forth. These are literally the egg patterns that I used. The big one didn't work. That off-colored one there worked really well. And that little tiny one was what we caught the last fish. That's a beat-up one that caught several fish. This box has a number of different things in it. This is kind of like a late fall box, October, November box. Maybe into early December. Now we use 2-pound test, about basically 7X for the tippet, and a tiny little thin shot, and a little bitty styrofoam walleye floating, and a piece of toothpick to peg it. That's what we caught the last fish. The last fish was not having anything to do with anything that wasn't subtle. Smart fish, big, pretty smart brown trout. Now this is an example of a box that's prepared for January and February. It's got some no-see-ums and mostly midges and stuff, and midges with shucks and so forth. And notice there's hardly anything else in there. Let's face it, January and February, we're talking midges. That's what we're talking about. Midges. The little no-see-ums there, could be a midge, could be a tiny mayfly, but really it would imitate a midge trying to emerge. Now here's the equipment we used for a heavier bounce that we used at the head of a hole. There was no spawning bed, but at the head of a big hole we need to go deep, so we had about a 7-foot drop and a big thingamabobber and 3 sinkers, and that's a good size egg there. It's a homemade egg, but I like to make my own. There's the pliers I use. Inexpensive, got the curved jaws there. I've got some fancy ones, I like it better. This is how I carry my shot. You recognize what kind of box that is. Hey, I'm all about function.